Okay, so just going to go through now the framework of our Mint system. This forms the four pillars of success that we cover, and as you can see, it encapsulates mindset, improvement, or progress tracking, nutrition, and training. Now, without all four, we can only become part of the way there towards our goal. We only go so far. So if you imagine we just had the nutrition and the training, so the exercise part dialed in, and the diet can only get so far. You don't have the mindset. Now, yes, you'll have a positive outcome from both of those that includes your mindset, but also you may be doing really well in your diet and your exercise, but you don't necessarily know if you are still on the right track. So you're missing the progress part. So we're going to go through each bit and how they really make a difference to our overall goal, the outcome that we want. So we'll start on mindset, the top left. If you don't have that correct mindset from the beginning, you're going to feel distracted. You're going to be distracted by maybe that shiny object syndrome of new faddy diets or the latest exercise trend to come out. You're going to be distracted about everything else going on in your life. You're going to have social situations come up and take you off track. You're not going to be focused on the end goal. You're going to have all this noise, we call it, from outside influences. This could be also from inside as well. This could be your own self-sabotaging thoughts. They could all distract you from the goal you really deep down want to get to. Obviously, you can see there the emoji, the sad face, because you are distracted and you realize you'll never actually get to the outcome you want. But if we have the mindset dialed in properly, correctly, you'll be determined to get there. You'll feel a lot better. You'll be happier in yourself. They'll have a knock-on effect to each of the other pillars. They're all intertwined almost within each other. One helps the other, and mindset is hugely important in this. Next up, improvement or progress tracking. Now, if we don't know where we have the path ahead, where we have to get to, we're disillusioned to the fact that actually, are we making progress, or are we just bumbling along and don't really know what we're actually doing? With improvement trackers, so that means using, well, we call it sort of metrics, but body stats, scale weight to a degree, measurements around the body with a tape measure, images in the mirror or on your smartphone, other people obviously telling us that we're doing really well. We can see the difference in us, as well as clothing that fits maybe tight, then it starts to become looser. You know you're going in the right direction, maybe a belt loop in even more from where you started. All these help to give us visual and actual physical representations of our progress being made. But if we didn't have those to tell us we were going in the right direction, become disillusioned and maybe lose track. But with those, we can see that we're actually going in the right direction. We know we're making progress, and it gives us a positive feel-good factor that we're doing things right. Now, they don't have to just be measures to track. We could look at performance in the gym. So are we lifting heavier weights if that's your goal? Are we getting bigger muscles? Are we running faster? Are we running for longer? Are we feeling better on a day-to-day basis? Now, that's a hard one to track, but a lot of people just want to move more and feel better, and they don't want to wake up in pain. And that's a great sort of improvement tracker to wake up with stiff joints and aches and pains 6 months down the line. Wow, I wake up and I actually don't really feel at all bad. I feel great, in fact, and that is a great improvement tracker. But if you don't know you're making the right sort of progress forward, you can get disillusioned and almost give up and quit whilst you're almost ahead. So people quit at the time when actually things are going to show the hard work they've put in has made some great progress, but they quit because they don't see the step-by-step progress they are making. So improvement's a huge point to make here, and actually that's why we touch on it as a topic, such in Mint. Nutrition, now this is obviously a monster, and everyone starts with diet, but a lot of people's diet is disorganized, and without some planning or prep in advance, we're just going from meal to meal, jumping from social situation to going back home, and comfort eating and habits come into play, bad habits and we're bombarded with marketing 24/7 for unhealthy foods, but also healthy foods that actually are disguised as healthy foods, but they're actually unhealthy in a in a big way when you eat more of them. There's more to that on the nutrition part, but if we don't have some sort of organization around our nutrition, then we are disorganized. We don't have a real sense that we're in control of what we're eating, and when we don't have control of our eating, we tend to eat too much and gain weight, or have at least difficulty shifting that weight. It can go the other way as well. So people who want to gain strength and size in the gym and maybe not eating as best as they could to fuel their body. They might be training really hard, but they're disorganized in their food, and they aren't getting the best out of it. So it's a really big topic, obviously, nutrition, and we know that. So we've put a lot of time and effort into trying to dial down our learning for nutrition, but more so to be able to teach it in a simplified way. So, however, if you have your diet dialed in, that means knowing what's going in some way, shape or form. That doesn't have to be MyFitnessPal tracking every gram that goes in. It could be using our sort of hand size portion control method, which we've learned from Precision Nutrition certification that we've done. And that is a kind of a simplified way to know what sort of macronutrients, so the proteins, fats and carbs, are on each plate, each meal, without having to get the scales out and measure each food. But if you're someone who's really intricate with knowing everything, want to know everything about everything, basically, then MyFitnessPal weighing your food is going to be sort of the epitome of getting your nutrition dialed in. It'll really help to accelerate the results if you really know what is going into your diet on a day-to-day basis and have some sort of control, and also know that, going back to mindset, they linked in that because you're in control, you can go out and have those social events and feel like you're still staying on track. And finally, we come to trainings or exercise part. Now, if you're not training correctly, or not training intensely, or not even doing anything at all, then you're being disloyal to your body, because we do, as humans, we want to move, we want to feel good. As we go back to childhood, if you imagine we were really active, we were running around, jumping, doing all sorts of crazy movements that we lose the ability to do as we get older. Now, that is purely just, it can't be, that's just down to the aging process. It's the fact it's a mental decision to slow down, to not do as much as we want to do. Now, being disloyal to your body means that you will wake up with aches and pains later down the line, because we do want to move, we want to feel better, and we want to be able to do those athletic movements that our human bodies can do. So just having some sort of structure around training means you're more dedicated to the outcome of feeling better, moving better, getting stronger, fitter, leaner, whatever the goal is. That the exercise part is the stimulus that makes us be a better human being in our bodies. So dedicate to yourself, to your body, by putting some structured training into your routine. Okay. Now, whether that be following a plan online, whether it be coming into the gym and getting coached through sessions like we do with our clients, whether it be just trying to move more on a day-to-day basis and find a sport that you like. Every time you put something, put a stimulus to your body, it's going to want to try and get back to that easier state as what it was before. But if we keep pushing on and making progress, obviously we can keep things feeling like they're difficult and actually improving our output across time. That's where we can then run faster, lift heavier weights, do more exercise without feeling tired, and we become almost dedicated to our body to becoming the best version we can be. And then that, obviously, that training part forms part of our 4 pillars of success there. And without one of them, you're only 75%. Without 2, you're only 50%. And obviously, if you just focus on the nutrition, yes, you might get a leaner body, but you may feel terrible because you're not doing an exercise. And you may not be able to stick at that long term because it is a diet and it feels restricted, so your mindset's let down. And maybe you don't even have any improvement trackers. So what is the real point of dieting as such? So having the whole package together, those 4 elements, are going to really make a difference. And that's why the MINT framework is set out like this. The more we can have a balance and include every single part of this, the better we will become, and the easier the long-term goal will be to achieve.